Board Celtic have made a stunning start to their season, going into tomorrow's game at Hibernian. They're 15 points clear at the top of the SPL and into the last 16 of the Champions League. Some fans now believe it's a chance for the club to relive their glory days.
There you are, Parkhead, and as you come down there's a plaque that says founded 1888, and in the 79 years this is their most glorious hour.
Let the world know that Celtic are alive and kicking again.
I woke up at 5:30 in the morning after it and went, Hibs, they're a good team. How do we deal with them?
Celtic walk on into the last 16.
Sitting at the big boys' table in European football, you know, we feel it's where the club should be.
Euphoric night followed by the soberingly cold light of day. Emotion, sentiment superseded by talk of hard cash. Champions League progress worth millions, said the chief executive. News to his manager.
Well, we had a meeting with Peter the other day there, Peter Lawwell. And not once did he mention extra cash, that's for sure.
The club are in a position to strengthen the squad again in January, and the manager's proved already he's pretty shrewd in the transfer market. So, who knows? It's
a brand new group to Champions League. I've never done it before. It's only like Neil Lennon has done it regularly. And the rest of us is brand new.
So on several fronts, the new year suddenly a happy prospect for the first Celtic fans in a generation, celebrating survival beyond Christmas in Europe's premier competition.
A tough, hard, upright, downright, here's tears, was like a sort of city. Around Parkhead, it's still that kind of Glasgow.
Now, as back then, Glasgow's East End is the bedrock upon which success at Europe's highest level is being founded. It was ever so. Until 1980, that is. Back then, a 2-0 first-leg lead was surrendered. A 3-0 Bernabeu defeat signalled the start of that long European Cup hibernation. For Celtic, a shock. Now, the captain of the club's legendary winners of '67 sees echoes of a prestigious past.
They've got to throw aside any sign of nerves or any worries and always say to themselves, hey, we're in this as of a right. When we played anyone, then we always had the appetite and the attitude that we could, if we played well, then we could get a result.
And do you see that in this side?
I see it start beginning to manifest itself. Whomsoever we're drawn against will be worried because once again it looks as though this stadium is becoming a citadel.
When you meet the fans and the people who work at the club, you go, and you know, Big Billy McNeil and people like that, they've come into, fantastic, what a great night, loved it, it's one of the big nights. And you go, good. I help with part of the Celtic history and that's all.
How heavily does history weigh on your shoulders?
None whatsoever.
And, or does it inspire you?
Nope, doesn't do anything. I just look back at it and go, hey, that was good. That was a magnificent team. And it's no embarrassment not to be as good as them, that's for sure.
Talking of embarrassments, compare this week's high with Gordon Strachan's 5-0 low against Artmedia Bratislava last season. Their European journey all but over then by the end of July.
Are you out of Europe?
Looks if you like it.
How does that make you feel?
How do you think it makes me feel? Been the worst night of my life. If you get too excited with football, a Bratislava's round the corner.
It's not just Bratislava, it's, you know, Lyon in 2003 and Juventus. It's all those sort of, you know, sick moments in your stomach that have been banished now.
Good luck against Hibs.
Thank you very much. We'll need it.
Yes, business as usual this weekend. But whisper it, 40 years on, the ghost of Celtic's triumphant European past has been stirred.
The Lions have always wished that it would happen again for us. It would be lovely if this season something like that can happen. Now, there is a fairy tale aspect about Celtic that shows itself every now and then, and it's my wish that perhaps it shows itself once again this season.
Well, Gavin, it's clear how much European success means to Celtic players, both past and present.
Yeah, absolutely, and you know they've failed, haven't they, in recent years? But maybe they've learned from that. And in Gordon Strachan, they've got a passionate, highly qualified manager. And I think at half-time he had a little team talk with them, and I don't think their first half was particularly good. And he said, you know, could we remember for that first half or the second half? And they went out and performed better. Rode their luck a little bit, but they got through.
But we saw from that what a tough start Gordon Strachan had to his life at Celtic in the game against Armedia Bratislava.
Can you believe he was under pressure straight away there for his job? And he'd only been there 2 minutes.
Isn't that an example, though, of how desperate the fans at Celtic are for success?
It's an example how nuts the media are, because as soon as you lose a game, they go completely overboard. A bit like when you win a game. And I think the problem for Celtic, for the current playing staff and management, is you're always fighting against that 1967 European champions, when I think nearly all the players were born within 15 or 20 miles of Glasgow, which is absolutely fantastic. But he's done a really, really good job. He's not had anything like the amounts of money that previous Celtic managers have had. He's changed the way they've played a little bit. And it's just a great story for them to be there. And if you've ever been there to Celtic Park, it's absolutely full. It is very, very special.
Well, let's take a look at Celtic's Champions League group, and we can see they haven't lost at home in the league so far. Do you think perhaps, that's one of the reasons why they've done so well?
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Jake, whatsoever, because if generally their away form, since they've been in the Champions League every year, never won a game. So most definitely, but you can't underestimate the way the supporters are with them at home. They are absolutely brilliant.
And then qualifying, before United, just shows you the achievement, to do that.
And the number of teams and the quality of teams they've beaten at home has been brilliant. It's just been that away form that's always let them down. Now they've got a chance. I think they go to Copenhagen, obviously, they did go to Copenhagen last game, to finish top, which would be even better then, because in the knockout stage, your second game is at home. And with that crowd behind them, who knows?
Manchester United need a draw against Benfica to go through. Can they get that?
Yeah, I think so. They're doing great in the Premier League, but they've got enough. And even against Celtic, they still created chances, and they will always do that.
OK, let's take a quick look at Arsenal's group as well, because they're